Hey, what up guys, it's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk about the COD killer, the real COD killer, so to speak, right? Because obviously over the last week or so, ever since the beta, the recent beta that's about to end sometime tomorrow, everybody's been talking about XDefiant, COD killer. I made a video on that talking about in and of itself, but in this video I actually wanted to talk about the real COD killer. So I'm sure many of you guys are thinking something along the lines of, well, the only thing that will kill Call of Duty is Call of Duty, right? And if you haven't said that yourself, I'm sure you've heard it somewhere, right? And my response to that is exactly. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, what are you getting at, Jack? Well, SM2, in my opinion, is the only game that actually has the greatest chance to actually kill Call of Duty because, well, what is SM2? It is Call of Duty. It is classic, traditional arcade shooter Call of Duty, and the best aspects of it kind of all rolled into one, created by people that are doing it by their spare time and by the sheer passion and will in order to get that out to people. Because it's been something that's been wanted for a very long time, and these guys are making it, and they're doing it out of sheer passion with their spare time, and they're creating Call of Duty. SM2 is Call of Duty, make no mistake. It's just classic Call of Duty. So classic Call of Duty is being made, and if there's any chance to kill current Call of Duty, it is classic Call of Duty. It's simple as that. So it makes absolute sense to me that SM2 would be the real COD killer. Now, here is the interesting thing about all this. It is definitely possible that both generations of Call of Duty can coexist, right? Right now, we've got a tactical type of Call of Duty with safe spaces, doors, and ultra realistic maps and a really fast time to kill and all that other stuff. You guys get the deal, right? You guys get what I'm getting at here, right? So okay, well, and then of course there is the classic COD 4 all the way up to Black Ops 4 arcade style Call of Duty, where people are moving around. The action is much more fast-paced. The maps, although they may look like a real place, they're, in terms of their layout, are not designed to be realistic. I mean, look at Raid, one of the best maps in Call of Duty history, right? I mean, a house isn't really designed exactly like that, okay? I mean, sure, you could make one like that if you wanted to, but it's not, you know, that's not necessarily how it goes. So they put an element of realism in terms of the way that the house looks, right? It looks like it could be a house, but in terms of its layout, in terms of where the open space is and where the more enclosed spaces are and stuff like that, the amount of verticality and all that kind of stuff, like it was thought out. It's like, okay, people are meant to move around here, and if they are going to slow down, it's best to do it here. If they want to grab a position, it's got to be here. And it's got to be well balanced to where it just doesn't guarantee you victory. It guarantees you advantageous position, but it doesn't guarantee you victory. There was a flow to that map that basically catered to every playstyle, as long as the person that decided to choose whichever playstyle they chose to play was doing it correctly. Okay, so and that's the thing. What makes an arcade or a classic Call of Duty is different than what makes a current Call of Duty. So now, the interesting thing is, I think both Call of Duties can coexist. And I mentioned this in my my most recent SM2 video, which, by the way, thank you for the support and the amount of views and all. I mentioned this, and I said, look, there is a possibility. It's I would say at least a 50-50 chance that there is a possibility that Microsoft may see this and pick up on it. What Microsoft really needs is the right people to get behind their franchises. It's simple as that. That is the reason why Halo failed. That's one of the reasons why Halo failed. Halo Infinite failed because of two reasons. Number one, the leadership, the people that were put in charge of Halo in the first place, right? And those people are now no longer with 343, number one. And number two, it was the fact that they had a whole bunch of contractors that would have contracts up to about 1.5 years, and then after that, they'd be gone. So you have to spend months teaching people on how to do something, and then they finally get the ball rolling. By the time they get the ball rolling, they've barely done anything, and they have to go and rinse and repeat, and nothing gets done. So that is exactly what happened to Halo Infinite, and that's why right now they've got a long way to go. I mean, they're headed in the right direction. Things are finally moving forward, but you guys get the deal. And that's like one of their main flagship titles. As a matter of fact, they'll probably say Halo is still the flagship title of Xbox. Xbox's problem right now is the fact of its lack of exclusives and the lack of quality exclusives. Right now, Redfall is about to release, and that thing is going to have a cap of 30 frames per second in the year 2023. Need I say more? So, when you have a small dedicated group of developers that are working on this game with their own spare extra time for no money, right? They're doing it for free. They're doing it for passion, right? Passion for the game and for the love of traditional classic arcade Call of Duty, right? And the fun factor of it and its true potential if done right with all the corporate bullshit that's in the middle of it all, right? You get people like that behind your game, there's absolutely no way that you can lose. Now, the only downside to SM2 is obviously that it's limited to only PC users. Now, the thing is, you don't have to have the most, robust type of PC in order to run it. Even with the new engine that's coming up, you're going to have to need something a little bit beefier, but still nothing compared to like what high end is today. But with that being said, the majority of players, even though the game has controller support, which it certainly does, the majority of players play on console. They don't play on PC, and that's the only thing that would keep SM2 from reaching like that total number of potential it could reach. However, like I also mentioned in my previous video, it could be something that grows over time, right? It might start out a little bit on the slow end, but the thing is, the content creators, people like myself, or people out there that know Call of Duty, and again, I started this channel because of Call of Duty, believe it or not. I'm posting all sorts of videos that I want to post, because I don't care about numbers anymore. I don't care about the YouTube numbers, the YouTube growth. That's all. I want to make videos that I want to make. Sometimes I want to talk about Call of Duty if it means right, and other times I just want to do video retrospective videos or movie commentaries, whatever floats my boat. I also have like this thing. I don't do scripted commentaries for the most part, right? Except for some of the retrospective videos where I'm reading off of articles, but for the most part I still put in my own words into it with my own personal experience. But whenever I do these type of videos where I do commentaries, I don't script my commentaries. Everything is meant as if you and I were having a conversation right now, face to face. And it's pretty much always been like that, at least 95% of the time, if not more. But the thing is, SM2 has the biggest possibility now. Just in my fantasy, I imagine if Microsoft picked up SM2, first of all, my question would be, or SM2, my question would be, would the SM2 guys accept that sort of number of support and stuff like that, and have a bigger team and basically be in charge of the product? I think if I was in charge, if I was Phil Spencer and if I had the decision to make, I would obviously fund these guys and give them the proper fundage that they needed for all their hard work, as well as give them more people to help with the project. And I would keep the people that are in charge of the project right now that are making it sheerly out of passion, I would keep them in charge. Like everybody else that works on that team would answer to these guys, because obviously these guys know what they're doing. Their communication, whenever they do post up, communication is excellent, and they seem to be very humble people according to the writing that I read in yesterday's article that I read to you guys in the previous video. So these are the guys that need to be in charge. So that's what I would do. If I was Phil, I'd be like, okay, you guys have proven that you can be in charge. You be in charge. Let's hire you some people, with the right kind of people. How much money do you need? Blah, blah, blah. What time? Take it. And I would give them what they need. Microsoft can sure as hell afford it. And because they'd be in charge of Call of Duty, I really don't think that Microsoft would pull a dick move and literally go after these guys. I really don't. If anything, they're going to fund them. I mean, even back in the day when Activision was kind of cool, like remember during the Modern Warfare 3 days when they had where Eric Hirschberg was doing the was up there doing the presentation and shit. Guess what? They found out that a group of passionate fans made a Find Makarov video, and then they're like, who in the hell did this? And guess what? They called them up and they actually funded the sequel. Like Activision gave them the money to fund the sequel, which is pretty fucking cool. I mean, I think Microsoft can definitely do that if not better. But anyway, guys, I'm pretty much, I think, at overtime right now. So anyway, I don't want you staring at a black screen or my logo for too long. But anyway, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that if there's any game that's going to be the COD killer, it's going to be SM2? Because it is COD, literally. So COD will be killing itself, but in a unique way. What do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And thank you very much for the comments and for the support on recent video, guys. I really appreciate it. We're at 1.75K subs, growing regardless of the fact that there's all sorts of videos being made, and I love it. And yeah, give me something to talk about down below, and let me know, and let's keep the communication going. Love you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one.